This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com. Raw did a 0.51 rating last night, the second lowest in the history of the Raw TV show, even going back to the dark times of the 90s, before the Attitude Era took off. Very bad news for Raw. More sad news, though. No body found for Shad Gaspard, who there are actually 2 interviews with right here on the Hannibal TV, as well as a full interview with his old partner, JTG, that is full of stories about Shad. I actually met Shad first time a long time ago, all the way back in 2002 at an Ohio Valley wrestling camp. I think that was the camp that he was actually signed off of. And then I met him later when I did interviews. Always a really nice guy. Apparently, the U.S. Coast Guard has suspended their search for his body. According to TMZ, chances of finding him are fading. However, he won't be declared dead until he is found. His wife, Selena, said that he is a fighter, a warrior, and a magnificent soul. They're hoping and praying for his safe return. Honestly, I can't even read the rest of that because it upsets me to read. Martha Hart did an interview basically saying the reason why Owen Hart, why he won't allow him to be put in the WWE Hall of Fame. She did an interview with CBS saying, quote, their Hall of Fame, they don't even have a hallway of fame. It doesn't exist. There's nothing. It's a fake entity. There's nothing real or tangible. It's just an event they have to make money. They put it on TV and have a celebration. It's just so ridiculous. I would never even entertain the thought of putting Owen in their Hall of Fame. It's garbage. In MMA news, Joe Rogan has signed a multi-year deal to switch his podcast from YouTube to Spotify. Sorry, I don't know much about Spotify. I didn't even know they had videos on there. Supposedly, this deal, according to the Wall Street Journal, is worth $100 million. And California is talking about opening things up for sports without an audience in June. Matt R says, yo, Sean, hey, bro, hope all is well. Mike says, man, that's sad. Mason Ryan's biggest fan on here is saying interview Mason Ryan. I used to actually be very good friends with Mason Ryan when I wrestled in the UK. I wrestled him and we worked out together. And as I've said on here before, I even created a Plenty of Fish profile for him back in those days because I was hooking up with so many girls when I was in the UK. Yet for some reason, with as good looking as he was having issues. So I created a dating profile with him. WCW Fan 2000 says Raw did a 0.51. That does not equal 500,000 people, WCW Fan, by the way. The 0.51 represents the percentage of 18 to 49-year-olds wrestling their show, watching their show. As far as how many people that is, let me just check. That's 1.76 million people watch their show. So under 2 million. So as I said, I have over 10 million watching my channel now. So if you add up all of Raw viewers from the past 30 days, my channel has more viewers than Raw. Now, I'm not saying WWE's YouTube channel isn't beating me. They're destroying me with all the footage they have. I think they have 60 million subscribers now, which is amazing. But their TV shows themselves are doing terrible. Ivan Santos has interviewed Eric Embry. I've contacted him before, and he told me he did not want to do an interview. I contacted him just after he did his interview with Steve Austin, and he said that he wanted to actually talk to me because he was a fan of my interviews, but he didn't want to actually do an interview. But we never ended up talking on the phone. Am I going to watch AEW Double or Nothing? No. Alberto Del Taco asked me that. Chris Monty says Joe Rogan is moving from California. I don't know about that. I didn't hear that yet. All I heard is that as of September, he's moving from YouTube to Spotify. I wonder if that means he's going to close down his YouTube channels or just leave them up and start posting all future stuff on Spotify. It seems like he's probably making so much money off of YouTube. I can't see him shutting down his old channels. Big Richard, is he late for the Q&A? No, you're not. And thanks, by the way, for the great feedback on the Q&A that I did last Sunday night. Had almost 5,000 views, lots of great questions on there. Hydroxychlorone, zinc, vitamin C, and vitamin D defeats COVID-19, Dell Jr. says. Well, if you have a good immune system, it certainly helps. I take a lot of vitamin C. I can't be in the sun right now till Here's something funny, by the way, for everyone watching this that's been paying attention to my dealings with, I've got a very, very tiny bit of skin cancer on me that needs to be removed. Doctors for that are closed, but I'm also getting a vasectomy because I don't want to have kids. The world sucks right now. I don't want to bring in kids into a world that can be locked down. But let's make sense of this. Vasectomy operations here in Canada are still happening, but you can't get a cancer removed. Make sense of that. Where the hell are the priorities? Chubby Cox says Rogan has stated nothing is changing. He's still the owner of his content. They're just buying distribution rights. Well, the thing that's changing is he's not posting it on YouTube anymore, though. So that's what's going to be changed as of September. Spotify is going to be where if you want to watch his show, and I guess if you want to subscribe to his podcast. I'm no expert on podcasts, but we do have a Great North Wrestling podcast where I post the audio to my full shoot interviews on iTunes. The link to our iTunes site is in the description of this video and all the videos I post for the people that want instant audio downloads. And I don't put any ads on my podcast. Which, by the way, come to think of it, I'm going to actually, I'm not going to do that now. I have to do a product review for a product that someone gave me. I'll do that in a separate video. Could I beat up Joe Rogan? William says, I actually have no issues with Joe Rogan. I listen to his podcast. Yeah. Michael B says, vasectomy surgery, population control. Letting people die of cancer, population control. You could put it that way, but why? What about COVID-19? Why is everything being shut down? But if you have COVID-19, you can get treated for that. Makes no sense. Especially in Canada, there's like 60,000 people in the whole country that have it. But let's fuck over people that need cancer-related stuff done. I don't get it. Interview Colorado kid. Dustin says maybe. Don't know much about him. Possible. Big Richard, why is Canada such a cut country? I don't know. But on a good note, I am in negotiations for a reporting related job in the US. So, man, that would be fantastic. I really hope that happens. Really hope that happens. That'd be a dream come true. It's looking very positive. I'll know more by the end of the week. Be amazing. Hope my treatment goes well. If it ever happens, some idiot on here, okay, last week I was complaining about this issue I'm having about the doctors not seeing me about my cancer issue. And some idiot wrote on here, Canada has one of the best cancer centers in Ontario in the Toronto area. Well, yeah, they might have one of the best, I think it was the 7th best in the whole world cancer research center. But what good does that do me? First of all, I live 5 hours away from Toronto. Second of all, I can't get an appointment for a simple cancer spot removal, which is a very simple procedure. Bret Hart had it done, and then it ends the situation before it gets worse. So whether we have a great cancer research center doesn't make any difference if patients can't get appointments. And I'm not saying I'm the worst. I realize mine is minor, but if you get it early, it's going to stop the problem. There are people in far greater situations than me. JMC says he hopes I get that US job. Will I have to move, or will I be a digital reporter and stay in Canada? From what I understand, I'll be doing a lot of work there, a lot of work here. Mike Yon 100 says, is Canadian healthcare any good? Because they always say it's better than the US. I've been treated for lots of injuries in the US, and I have seen a liver specialist in the US. And as far as the healthcare system here, it's free, but you have to wait a long time on average to get stuff done. I needed knee surgery back in 2012. I had a torn meniscus from escaping a single leg in an amateur wrestling match, which, by the way, I still won the match despite tearing my meniscus in that match. But it took 8 months for me to get the surgery done here with our system in Canada. So you get what you pay for here. Ken says he hopes I can get CBD oil and put it on the spot. I have been doing that, and it has made a difference, but I would still like to get it cut out. So I'm going to close it at that.